Hello everybody and welcome to another reaction video. And today, once again, we're going to be revisiting Underoath. Now, I've reacted to Underoath possibly 3 or 4 times now, and each time it's been quite different. And with this one, I'm expecting this to be very different again. The first time I heard them, they seemed to be a sort of bit teenage angsty sort of screamy, screechy sort of thing. But I have enjoyed their music each time. Now, I kind of know what to expect, but at the same time I don't, because I did a little bit of research on this track. The track is called On My Teeth. So I did a little bit of research and I actually came out with a fair amount of information. And what I got is, On My Teeth is the first single from Underoath's highly anticipated comeback/reunion album, Erase Me. And it is the first new piece of music since 2010's Disambiguation, and was released along with the music video on February 22nd, 2018. It is a high-energy revenge track aimed at an unnamed adversary with themes of betrayal and surrender. Significantly, this is the first time drummer and co-founder Aaron Gillespie has shared vocals with screamer/frontman Spencer Chamberlain since their less than amiable split in 2010. So, it's got a little bit of history behind it. And when asked about whether the song was about Spencer's drug use or his departure from Christianity, the reply came back as both. It says here, Spencer has never shied away from discussing his battles with addiction, as well as the teeth damage being a side effect of heavy cocaine use. For example, the imagery used in the song matches how he felt betrayed by Christianity during his darkest times. And there's a quote. Thankfully, 95% of the reaction from On My Teeth has been all love about the song. Sure, there's people that hate the fact that we said f***, but those are people that have been mad at me since 2005. I'm not trying to steer people down the wrong road and tell you to go worship Satan. I'm not saying I hate Christians and I hate Christianity by saying that word. My journey and my role in playing in a Christian band, I held a huge burden and I got burnt really bad and was treated awfully. I'm not saying religion is wrong for everyone, but it is wrong for me. It ruined my life, turned me into a drug addict, and people were awful to me the whole time. I never felt more alone in my life than when I was Christian. There you go. So, an interesting song with a bit of a double meaning going on here. Very interested to see what this is going to be like, because obviously people have heard my opinions on religion before, and obviously we've covered subjects such as drug and alcohol addiction in the past as well. Excuse me. So, I have been waffling on for nearly 4 minutes now, so I think we'll go to the music. So this is, I'll put a link to the original video in the description below. So this is Underoath On My Teeth. Let's get to it, shall we? Well, this is quite heavy compared to what I seem to recall from other tracks I've listened to. It's like, got really into it pretty quite quickly. What is wrong with me today? He got into the track pretty quickly. It was quite hard hitting straight from the start, and yes, it's The track opens up with, "Let's get this straight. I'm fine without you. I'm not your f***ing prey, so save yourself and no one else. What you believe, your life is a lie. Get over it, get over it, get over it." So, again, there is two different meanings to this song, apparently. And there's just, "Let's get this straight, I'm fine without you." Now, he could be going on, "Let's get this straight, I'm fine without you," in relation to God/religion. It's like, look, I don't need God, I don't need religion, I'm fine. I can live perfectly happy without thinking about you, talking about you, preaching, praying, whatever. But he could also, at the same time, be talking about drugs. It's like, look, I can live perfectly fine without cocaine. I'm fine without you. And it says that I am not your f***ing prey. So, when it comes to drug addiction, you've got that gnawing sensation at the back of your head saying, you need more, you must have more, you must have more. Sort of like, it's almost like the drugs taking over you and making you use it. Alternatively, you could also be saying, I'm not something for you to consume, as in religion-wise. Sort of like, I can live life the way I want to. I don't need God to save me. I don't need his guidelines to tell me how to live. And it goes, what you believe, your life is a lie. So again, what you believe, whatever religion you might follow, essentially you're living your life by this book, which is just pure fiction. It's all made up, it's all rubbish, it's all a lie. And then it goes into the chorus. "You got the best of me and stabbed me in the back. I taste you on my teeth, you're like a heart attack. And I'm not okay. I'm heading down the drain. I still feel safe down where I belong." That's like, "You got the best of me and stabbed me in the back." So it's sort of like, again, with Christianity and drugs at the same time. It's like, I gave you the better years of my life. In my youth, I had like all this energy, I had all this vigor, and I wasted it all on either taking drugs or by preaching and praying to something that I didn't believe in. And these are things that the band have actually said the song is about. So I'm not necessarily taking a stab in the dark like I do with a lot of my analyses, as it is. It says there, "You got the best of me and stabbed me in the back." So it's like, I gave you all of this, all of my time, all of my youth, and basically you've turned around and basically realising he's thrown his life away at that point. Sort of like, he wasted all that time taking drugs, he ruined his life as a young person taking all the drugs, or he's wasted all his life blindly following a God that he didn't really believe in. The next bit, seems to be mostly attached to the drugs. Is, "I taste you on my teeth, you're like a heart attack." So, it's like, I don't know anything about taking cocaine and stuff like that. I don't know very much about drugs, because I'm very, very strongly against them. Very strongly. There is a reason behind that, but I'm not going to go into it. But it says, "I taste you on my teeth, you're like a heart attack." And as I understand it, for the most part, cocaine is taken through the nose, but sometimes you know, it's rubbed into the gums and stuff like that. And as it said in the description earlier, you know, your teeth can get damaged and rotten and stuff from taking these substances. So it's, you know, he can taste that his mouth has gone bad, his teeth are going rotten, and you're like a heart attack, obviously, knowing that drugs are insanely bad for you. He knows the effect it could have on his heart and stuff like that. It says, I'm not okay, I'm heading down the drain. I still feel safe down here where I belong. Now, that could possibly be a talking about relapsing into drugs, I'm not sure. It says, I'm not okay, heading down the drain. Which to me suggests, you know, heading down the drain suggests, you know, I'm falling back down into that black pit of misuse and stuff like that, and abuse. And it says, I still feel safe down where I belong. So, you know, he's going back to what he's used to, maybe? I'm not sure. Yes, let's carry on and see where this goes. There you go. On My Teeth by Underoath. So, he actually carried on the song there. Before we paused, I mentioned I was talking about a possibility of the, you know, the end of the chorus suggesting maybe a relapse and into the addiction. And the lyrics actually carried on. So where were you when I fell out? Went back into the dark. I'm lost again, so don't come find me. So again, that sounds like he's talking to God, as it were. Where were you when I fell out and went back into the darkness? So sort of like when I relapsed, when I fell back into the drugs, you know, when I went back to addiction. Where were you? Why didn't you save me? I was told my entire life that God would save me. Why are you not here to help me through this? So, you know, it sounds like he's actually really mad at the fact, at God, for not actually being there, for not actually being a real and tangible thing, like he'd been told it was. There is another little quote here. It says, Spencer had previously discussed how God has helped him through some of the darkest times of his life. This line stands in stark contrast to that. Spencer is implying that for a time he reverted back to a nondescript, difficult situation, a relapse in his drug addiction. He feels that God had an opportunity to save him from that and didn't. Now Spencer is angry at God and wants very little to do with him. So You know, the song itself seems more aimed towards his anger towards God for not helping him through his drug addiction, and thusly he's given up on God because, you know, one of the main things that seems to be in Christianity and stuff like that is God will save you, God will look after you, God does everything for good. Yet he's sitting there questioning, you know, if God does everything for good, why has he let me get this deep into a drug addiction? If God has a plan for us all, why am I in this state? Why am I in this mess? You know, if God is going to save me, when is it going to happen? You know, I'm stuck in this deep pit of substance abuse, and he's not done anything to help me. Why is he not helping me? And he's become disillusioned with God, or the idea of God, because he's come to realise that it's all bullshit. You know, he's come to realise there is no such thing, because, you know, all these promises are made by, you know, people who read the Bible. You know, they're always like, you know, God will save you, God will look out for you, God will rescue you, and he's sort of realised that it's all absolute rubbish. It's just stories that people tell themselves so that they can feel better about themselves and fall asleep at night, rather than sitting there worrying about the fact, you know, like all these people that are in like critical financial worries, rather than actually worrying about the important part of, you know, like, how are we going to get through this, how are we going to get the money together. They're sitting there going, don't worry, God will help us. And he's actually sitting there going, you're all idiots, because he's not gonna do that, because that's not how it works. So yeah, he's basically launching an all-out attack on God and Christianity because of the way he feels that it's betrayed him and let him down. It was a good piece of music. It was really quite heavy, and Underoath. They seem very, very strange when I listened to them, because, like I said, the first track I wasn't overly keen on, but the next track I thought was great, and then then there was another track or two, and I seem to recall one of them I thought was a bit, you know, it was alright, and then there was another one which I thought was good, and this again was good. They seem very sort of hit and miss, but this was a very good track. It was really, really heavy, very good meaning behind the song, not because of my utter disdain for religion, but, you know, because he's talking about his addiction and how disillusioned he became with religion. You know, these are deeply personal issues, and, you know, I've said again, but I've said before, you know, talking about these sorts of things is quite difficult, because you're basically opening yourself up to everybody. You know, you're letting people know your most personal and innermost feelings, and yeah, it was interesting, good song. But I think I'll leave that as it is. If anybody would like to suggest a track, then please do so. By all means, you can drop a comment in the comments section below, or you can message me on my Facebook or my Instagram. I would like to do a quick shout out in this video as well. I'd like to make a shout out to Joseph Morstel. I'm not sure if I've pronounced your name right. He is my first Patreon patron. Yay, thank you very, very much for that, because, you know, I need all the help I can get making these, you know, because, you know, they take time, they take effort and resources, and any help I can get doing that is absolutely fantastic. So thank you very much for that, and if anybody else would like to become a patron, there is a link to my Patreon in the description below as well. Also, Metalhead React is a proud supporter of the Sophie Lancaster Foundation, a British-based charity that are aimed at putting an end to hate crimes, specifically aimed towards people of the alternative subculture, but not purely that, because obviously they want to put an end to all hate crimes in general, whether it be racism, sexism, homophobia, ageism, ableism. We want to put an end, well, they want to put an end to all of this sort of thing. But again, like I said, more specifically, people of alternative subculture, because no matter how you live your life, there is no excuse and there is no reason why people should attack you for it. As long as the way you live your life is within the confines of the law, no one has the right to judge you or attack you for it. You're not hurting anybody by walking down the street wearing alternative fashion. You're not hurting anybody. So there is no excuse and no validation anybody can give as to why they should be allowed to attack you. It's unfortunately something that seems to affect the alternative subculture quite vigorously. It's a ridiculous thing. It's just like, because people don't like the fact that we listen to alternative music, they seem to think it's okay to attack us for it. And, more often than not, we get portrayed as the violent group. We get portrayed as the aggressors because we listen to loud, heavy, and aggressive music. But at the end of the day, we're really not. For the most part, we're a very, very passive group. Very rarely do you ever hear of metalheads attacking other metalheads, or metalheads randomly attacking everyday people on the street. But more often than not, when you hear about, gun violence or knife violence, it's always, or not always, more often than not, it's people that are into the hip-hop culture. And I'm not trying to stereotype or cliche them, but it generally is. A lot of gun violence, it's all like gang-related and stuff like that, and it's mostly people who listen to hip-hop, yet somehow we've earned the title of being aggressive and violent, whereas we're really not. You very rarely hear of it, and everything's got a bit twisted, and somehow people seem to think it's okay to attack us just because of the music we listen to. And we're not harming anybody by listening to that music. We listen to it in the comfort of our own home. We don't sit there and blast it out of our car stereos as we're cruising down the street, do we? No, we really don't. We're not forcing it onto anybody. We're not harming anybody by doing it. So why should people attack us for it? It doesn't make any sense. But anyway, I've gone off on a random tangent again. If you'd like to find out more about the Sophie Lancaster Foundation, there is a link to their website in the description below. Find out what they're up to at the moment, what they're currently doing, and what their ultimate goal is, because they can explain it better than me without going off on random tangents. And if you can help them in any way, that would be absolutely fantastic, even if it's something as simple as one of these little £1 bracelets. Just that thing would help a lot. So yeah, if you can help in any possible way, that's absolutely fantastic. But I will leave that as it is for the time being. Thank you all very, very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.